Anything of interest?
Well, I was reading here that wasps cocoon their prey after the kill.
Oh.
And you don't want to get on the bad side of a queen wasp.
Why not?
She'll sting you to death.
This is the emergency podcast system. This is not a test. Movies are bombing all over the country. They are posing as movies you already know. They may already be in your theaters, your neighbor's home, or even your own. Do not panic. Specialists have been dispatched. They will help you identify these pretenders and defend you against this invasion of the remake. Please stand by for further instructions. Welcome to the Invasion of the Remake podcast. I am your host, Jason Bishop, and with me from Planet Vulcan is Trish Coughlin.
Hello.
What was that? Was that you trying to do a bug voice?
Yeah. I can't do buzzing.
I mean, it was perfect for a Roger Corman buzzing.
Yeah.
That's about what the budget requires.
I know the level we're at.
Yeah.
I know the level we're at.
So this is part 2 of our salute to Roger Corman. We've picked another one, The Wasp Woman from 1959. There was a remake of this in 1995 made for one of the television Skinamax kind of things, yeah. I think. I shouldn't have been surprised about the nudity because I thought it was regular television, and then I'm like, oh, well, I mean, it's Jim Wynorski. Yeah, no. Of course there's going to be nudity.
Exactly. I'm like, this feels like cable. Yeah.
Yeah. It definitely felt like cable. So, yeah, we're talking about The Wasp Woman. This was very much a takeoff of The Fly. It wears its influence like a t-shirt with a picture of the Fly on it.
Yeah. It's going to the concert that you're going to and wearing the t-shirt of the band.
Yeah. Very dated by its tour short. Tour shirts are like the worst. Like, I don't wear tour shorts because it dates you as a human being. Like, they're the worst thing in the world. I have one tour shirt that's actually fake because it's for comic book promotional. And I was a little mad because Edmonton was a stop and Calgary wasn't. So typical. I remember one time, I had to go to Edmonton to a concert. Well, didn't have to go. I went with my friend. We went to see U2, and it was only in Edmonton. It wasn't in Calgary. Yeah. Yeah, because our stadium couldn't hold their setting. I remember that one because it was, our stadium.
Pop art tour.
It wasn't high enough.
Well, when I got there, I'm like, oh, I get it.
Yeah. Well, maybe the new one will. They're building a new stadium here.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It looks like what is that thing? The Dome in Vegas has got U2 as a resident right now.
Yeah. They're just playing domes now.
Yeah.
They're just playing the Biodome. The Las Vegas Dome.
Well, we have the Saddle Dome, and they won't play there.
Well, we'll get a new dome.
Damn our saddle shape.
I know. You know what? I remember when that sucker was built. Again, dating myself like a tour shirt. And it was like, oh my God, it looks like a saddle. How amazing. Like, everybody was real jazzed about it when it came out.
Yeah. The Wasp Woman, looking into it, boy, it almost has its own, like, little lore behind it, too, because actress Susan Cabot, the lead actress, she was murdered by her son.
Oh, good God.
Yeah.
I'm glad I didn't know that before we got into this.
Yeah. Well, I mean, this kind of deals with mental illness and body dysmorphia. And those themes are even heavier in the Wynorski version. But she actually suffered from mental illness and degraded in her life. This was actually her last feature. She made a couple more TV spots, and then that was it. She didn't do anything else and died in 1986. But she had a son. She had a 7-year affair with King Hussein of Jordan.
Oh, good God.
I'm like, it just gets get better and better. And of course, they split up and she gets remarried and the new husband's, helping raise the son. And I guess the son got some of the mental illness and in his 20s killed her, but it does look like self-defense based on what I was reading. Her mental health was kind of degrading. Her house was filthy, like full of garbage and that kind of thing. And she, in this particular fit that she had, she didn't remember who her son was and came at him with a pipe or something and a knife. So he wrestled the pipe away and bludgeoned her to death.
Yeah. See, here's the thing. Yeah, I've dealt with a parent that doesn't know who you are. And yeah, sometimes there can be outbursts, but when you bludgeon someone to death, it's more than one hit. So strikes me as saying is like, yeah, he could have hit her and knocked her down, but he kept going. So
yeah,
much of that's on him.
Oh, well, yeah, I wasn't there.
No.
I was 13. No. I wouldn't have been able to stop anything. But yeah, she was age 59. So,
wow.
Weird little sidebar there.
Crazy.
Pretty basic plot to the film. It's this lady who runs a cosmetic company and she's the face of the company. And she's like models the products and does the little Brett hair thing. Maybe it's me, maybe it's Maybelline.
Yeah.
So, but she's hitting her 40s and her board of directors is eager to point that out.
Yeah, see, it's body dysmorphia, but it's also a very societal thing.
Yeah.
Where it's like you're getting older. And I mean, every once in a while, I just want a woman to be like, well, you're not getting taller. So what are we doing here?
Yeah.
Now, as I said, sales began to fall in April. But the reason for the fall was back here in February. Starlin products have always been thought of as something of a modern miracle in the cosmetics trade. A firm built to a multi-million-dollar-a-year business on the strength and appeal of one person, Janice Starlin. From the beginning, right through until February of this year, only one woman's face was used to advertise those products. Your face, Miss Starlin. The public have come to accept you as a symbol. Well, now, after 16 years, they see a different face. They don't trust it. They feel cheated. The simple fact is that Starlin Cosmetics should have Janice Starlin's picture advertising them. Well, that's about all I've got to say.
And a darn good job of saying it, too.
I agree. Lane makes a lot of sense on that score, Miss Starlin.
I think I've had enough flattery for one morning, gentlemen.
So, I mean, the basic plot is her trying to regain her youth through whatever means available to her.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
Through this experimental hormone wasp extract. And it does work, but then she's impatient in the treatments and wants a faster result. And thus results in her shifting into the Wasp Woman that winds up killing the people around her who are pissing her off. That's the story, and it's not much different in the remake. There's a little more of approach to the modeling side where we don't see much of that in the original film.
Yeah.
It feels more corporate, where the other side feels more like they're doing the shoots and there's beautiful women around and there's more intimidation in that regard.
Yeah, they dig into more of what's happening, like all these men saying, well, you're just not young anymore and we got to do some stuff here. Yeah,
it's quite something. The original produced and directed by Roger Corman. Let's get into this right after the trailer here.
Supposing a more powerful form of royal jelly could be obtained. From the queen wasp, for example.
Socially, the queen wasp is on level with the black widow spider.
Oh, no. There might be danger.
Those are my terms, Mr. Fincher. Janice Starlin will be your next guinea pig.
A woman of fantastic desires, sponsoring a scientist with fantastic theories, and demanding fantastic results.
How old do I look? Tell me! How old? 23.
enzymes. The enzymes, they're going crazy. Miss Darling will kill her and tear her body to shreds.
All right, The Wasp Woman from 1959, directed by Roger Corman. We've talked about him as a producer and a director, including just 2 weeks ago. Episode 55 was one he directed, Little Shop of Horrors, 294, X, The Man with the X-Ray Eyes, and 428.
Oh, why did I forget this one? I know what I'm looking at. Oh, good God, what's wrong with me?
The Beast with a Billion Eyes.
That's it. Some of these titles, they're just so broad, they go out of my head.
Yeah,
like,
right.
I know what it was. I'm like, I know it's a thing we can't see, and it's the animals.
The story was come up by Kinta Zertush. And the screenplay by Leo Gordon, who we actually probably talked about, episode 172. Fire and Ice, when we remade that animated classic. And episode 423, he was actually an actor in 423. I don't think you were here for that one. Actually, I'm not even sure you were there for Fire and Ice. Savage Dawn.
No, I was there for Fire and Ice.
Were you there
I wasn't there for Savage Dawn.
Okay. Savage Dawn.
Yeah.
So that was pretty recent as well. This stars Susan Cabot as Janice Starlin. She was in Gunsmoke. She was also in War of the Satellites. That just sounds like something we need to talk about someday.
Yeah. That's, you know what? War of the Satellites kind of sounds something like it's right now. We could update that for now and it'd be awesome.
Right? It'd be really easy. We got Elon Musk bumping into Apple satellites and
we got all that fucking junk up there.
Yeah. Anthony Isley is Bill Lane, and we talked about him in episode 386, The Doll Squad.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I remember that one. I was there for that one.
Barbara Morris was Mary Dennison. This is the secretary for Janice. And she was in another Roger Corman classic, A Bucket of Blood, which I actually watched recently just for fun.
Oh, nice. How was it?
It was all right.
Okay.
I kind of liked it. It was a bit of a whodunit.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. She was also in episode 294, X, The Man with the X-Ray Eyes.
That's why she looked familiar.
Yeah. William Rorick is Arthur Cooper, and he was in Not of This Earth, the original. There's actually 3 or 4 of those now. I've been wanting to do it, but the intimidation of doing so many.
we learned our I Am Legend lesson.
Yeah. The remake, I remember watching one of the remakes, and it had, what's her name? The porn star turned actress. She was in Blade.
Oh, I know her name. I want to say Terry something.
No, that's not Terry. Anyway, yeah. That was like my gateway because I was still a teenager.
Yeah.
I'm like, ooh, boobies.
Yep.
Michael Mark is Eric Zinthrop, the doctor here who's been experimenting on wasps. Ironically, this movie opens on bees. So you've got the opening credits and there's all these bees crawling around, but at least they were smart enough to put in a bee scene. Now that wasn't actually in the original film. That was actually shot for TV when it was converted to color. So it was actually shot later, about 5 years later, that opening scene where we have Dr. Zinthrop going through the beekeeper areas and finding some wasps. But yeah, that was all shot after the fact.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah.
I like that.
5 years after the fact, after the original release of the film.
But it helped.
It sure did. Yeah, instead of just opening on the meeting room.
Yeah, and it fits into why he was going there in the first place. Like, I mean, it puts things in motion. So, yeah, they needed it.
Yeah, I think it was a wise idea for them to throw that in there. Michael Mark was in Return of the Fly, ironically, so he's kind of done something like this before. And Casablanca, he was in some stuff, man. Frank Gersel is Les Hellman, one of the board guys, and he was in episode 404.
Nice.
DOA.
Oh, original DOA.
Original DOA, yeah. Bruno Visotto is the Night Watchman, and he was in episode 350 when we talked about The Fast and the Furious. He obviously was in the 54 version.
Yeah. He doesn't get much screen time.
No.
He's just worried about his radio.
Yep. Yeah, I'm kind of into back cast now. It's pretty small cast. Roy Gordon is Paul Thompson, and we've talked about him a couple of times. He was in episode 93, which was 0 Hour, which was was remade as Airplane, yeah. And episode 141, the original Attack of the 50-Foot Woman.
Nice.
Caroline Hughes is Jean Carson, and she was in the Lollipop cover. I just love that name, so whatever that is. And Lynn Cartwright was Maureen Reardon, and she was in the Garbage Pail Kids movie.
Oh my God. Oh, Maureen.
It never got better for her, did it?
Oh, sweetie. Oh, you know what? But you know what? You're trying for a career, and I respect you, lady. I do.
Yeah. Well, I mean, she was obviously working for a long time because this movie was 1959 and the Garbage Pail Kid movie was in the late 80s.
She's still plugging away, being that workhorse. We love it. Love you, babe.
Exactly. So, yeah, we open with the bees. He's running around collecting the wasps, and then he gets fired for it because he's experimenting. He's supposed to be working on the royal jelly with bees, and he gets fired because these are wasps. What good are wasps? Despite the fact he shows him like it's de-aging people. This is a $1 billion idea, and they fire him. We don't do wasps, we do bees. Talk about a dude with no vision. Imagine being the guy that went back to the board. I fired him. Why? Oh, he was making some de-aging stuff from wasps. You idiot.
Right? It's a whole thing where it's like, this is, it's something that's rampant in corporate America, Canada, corporations all around. You have managers with no vision. Managers just want to micromanage, and they're like, oh, this is just my job. They don't think. They just like, oh, I got to make my mark. So I'm going to fire someone to show that I'm a tough guy.
Yeah. And this is the later setup. So if you actually wouldn't have seen any of this in the original film, but it's a good setup. It's a good introduction to Dr. Zinthrop. And when we get to the next scene in the boardroom, and you're getting a little long in the tooth lady to be modeling your products. Right. It's kind of the right guy at the right time when he comes knocking on her door and shows her this stuff and that it works. It apparently turns guinea pigs into rats, though.
That's what I noticed, too. I was like, but that's not a little guinea pig. That's a rat.
They couldn't found a baby guinea pig?
I know, right?
Like, you found 2 guiney pigs, so you couldn't have found one that bred?
Right?
They breed like guinea pigs.
Guinea pig. Yes.
Yeah, they breed fast.
You know what? Just put this scene down on the call sheet, put the guinea pigs in the cage, and just wait.
I mean, that should have been your first warning sign. Yeah. It de-aged it into a rat, an entirely different species. Do you really want to be giving this to humans?
Right?
In a way, this cheap production thing that they did really kind of works for the film.
It really does. It really does. But it's so funny. It's like, were you so obsessed with modeling and creating your company, you didn't learn about which animals are which?
Right?
Yeah.
Sleight of hand. He switched them when you've got Bill Lane running around going, "Oh, he's a confidence man." He's like, that is a sure sign that he's a confidence man. I'm like, sleight of hand. What did you do with the guinea pig?
That would have been so funny if he's like, she says he brought in guinea pigs and they de-aged, and he goes in there. He's like, no, those are rats.
Those are rats, lady. You do not.
What's wrong with you?
Like, one has a tail, one doesn't have a tail.
Yeah. You're like in New York. There are rats. You should know what these are.
Yeah. I loved it.
Do you think rats grow into guinea pigs?
We really can't have you leading this company.
No. If not, we're just going to have some basic biology lessons just to get you up to speed. Again, corporate incompetence.
Yeah. And really, if they were looking for another face of the company, this applies to both movies. Why didn't you hire the secretary? Oh my lord.
Right?
Beautiful in both movies.
And in both movies, what I truly, truly appreciated, because this doesn't happen very often, is, you have the older lady, and in some instances, she's kind of jealous of the young secretary, but the young secretary is very supportive of her and worries about her and is her friend.
Yeah, she does a little spying in the original film, mainly for Bill to just keep an eye on her because he's worried that she's getting taken for a ride. Yeah, but she does defend her to him. Yeah. Like, these are women standing up for each other. It's a very, very interesting thing that even back then they were doing, or Roger Corman was doing, and I applaud him for it. Yeah, yeah. Even though I find, Roger Corman being one of the king of exploitations, the 95 is far more exploitation movie. Yeah. But the support is still there. They kept that dynamic. They didn't really wind up changing the film all that much. No. Which is a shame, because part of me really wants to dig in and remake the thing. But considering if it takes its inspiration from The Fly, then you should have been taking your inspiration from the remake of The Fly, because what a opportunity for body horror. Right. And I guess it's kind of there. The third one sort of did it, but it didn't go all the way. No, they kind of got there, but it just didn't have the budget for it. Yeah. Neither one of them. I know. I want to do the next run. It's we want to do the third run and be like, we think we have it. Yeah, there's so much sitting there that just seems so goddamn obvious to me. And in either film, I didn't like the fact that she kept switching back and forth like she was the Hulk. I know. I'm getting mad, so I'm turning into a wasp. Well, because it's so much like The Fly, when I first saw the initial, because I've never seen either movie. And when I saw the first initial one, when she turned into the wasp and goes and attacks the one guy who comes to the lab, I thought, oh God, now what does she do? Because she's now a wasp. Nope, turns back, and I'm like, oh, okay. No, I didn't get it. There's even more that I don't get in the remake, but we'll get there. Oh, yeah. Oh boy. Yeah. As things progress, she's taking the hormone periodically, in small doses. And it's not quite fast enough for her. Maybe she's getting a little more shine to her skin, but it's not fast enough for her. So she sneaks into the lab and gives herself a bigger injection. And meanwhile, something happens to Dr. Zinthrop, because we have to take him off the table for a little bit, apparently. But something also happens to the cat. Oh, yeah. He starts off with guinea pigs and then shows her a cat, and it's a kitten. Yeah. And she's real excited. So she's like, we're doing it now. Yeah. And it mutates and kind of gets savage. And I wish they would have had some budget to show something there, because they just kind of matted its fur. And I think they were trying to put stubs on the back that try to make it look wings or something. But it was growing wings. Wouldn't that been cool? Yeah. Okay. When we get to the remake, I have thoughts on that other one, which I actually really enjoyed. I was wondering why there were giant wasps before he experimented on things. I wasn't sure why we had giant wasps already in the movie before. It would have made sense if she was birthing them or whatever, but I was a little puzzled by why they were already there. I know. The one giant wasp was getting revenge for taking the queen. That was the cat. Was that the cat in the remake? That was the cat in the remake. Okay, that's what I'm saying. I must have missed something there. No, because it's like a broom. Okay, so it turned into just a big giant wasp. All right. Yes. Yeah. Okay. That meowed. Right. Okay, but anyway, back to the original. Yeah, back to the original. Back to rat. Yeah. Or guinea pigs. Yeah. Yeah, but anyway, the cat attacks him. He kills the cat. But now he knows something's wrong, but then they take him off the table exactly after he figures out something is wrong. Yeah, like a car accident, they said. It all happened off screen, and I'm like, what the hell? I'm like, why wouldn't she show me that? There's two things I was thinking. I rewatched a bit of this, and when it first happened, I thought, oh, maybe he's just distraught, and he's walked into traffic.
And then my second thought, I was like, oh, maybe he's just distracted and walked into traffic. So there's two options.
Yeah, like
distraught or distracted.
Like I like the idea of it being like right after the thing with the cat, and he's going off to warn her, and then they're searching for him in the hospital, which is like what, a door down from their lab? I didn't understand that either. Why were the sets so close? Like you couldn't find him? He's right there.
I know. I know. And it was one of the things, doing that searching thing where the guy's just going around, but randomly searching. He's not going to everyone and saying, have you seen this man? He's just stopping like every 200th person. And then it's like, oh, maybe I'll pop into the hospital. They are bad at looking. That's all I'm saying.
That's right. Yeah. Like learn about this guy. You're spying on him and you learned nothing.
Bad lookers.
So stupid.
Exactly. But then she's because she's so rich, she moves him in and creates her own little hospital for him. Yeah. So
yeah, that's where I kind of got confused because I thought that was still the hospital set. But no. I can see why she wanted to keep him close because she was running out of formula.
Oh, she was running out quick.
And he couldn't remember anything for a while.
Yeah, brain damage, they'd said. I don't know if he had any notes or anything, like couldn't get anybody to do it.
Yeah, and meanwhile, she's been killing all sorts of people as she gets more and more pissed off, and people are disappearing, handymen and guys on the board who are dicks.
Yeah, guys on the board who are dicks, I get that, but it's
the corporate espionage. Yeah, the Night Watchman was just, he didn't have
opportunity.
Yeah, that was just an opportunity. He didn't have it coming.
No. He was just trying to listen to his radio. The poor guy.
Yeah. I was a little upset with the final shot, like the finale of the film where they push her out of a window. Do they not know wasps can fly?
Didn't they? I thought they hit her with acid.
Well, they did hit her with acid, but didn't kill her. And then they got her out of the window, and then she went.
Well, she's pretty damaged from the acid.
Yeah, let's go with that. Let's go with that. And they didn't really show wings, but it really bothered me that they didn't.
I know, right?
At least in the remake, they blew her up. Well, she blew herself up.
Yes. But she was like full on. She had wings and everything, and she could fly.
Yeah. Yeah. She just had a bit of self-realization in the moment because that dynamite took forever.
Oh, I know.
She could have picked it up and zipped it back and thrown it back at them.
I know. But you know what? I kind of liked how it gives her a little bit of agency where she's like, I've made so many mistakes. Yeah. I'm done. It's time to go. It's her own sacrifice, it gives her a little bit of heroism at the end. Yeah.
Yeah, it was kind of nice. I mean, I really, for the most part in the remake, I really enjoyed the design of it all. Like, I do feel like they were trying to go that extra mile like the Fly remake did, and really give you something interesting. The boob window.
Oh, loved it.
The boob window on the carapace. Really?
Yeah. Oh, loved it. Loved it. Because I was like, oh, wait, that's her. She's got the boob window. Loved it.
I mean, every opportunity Wynorski has to show boobs, he will.
Well, it's cleavage. It's not technically the whole boob.
Well, but we did see the actress's boobs earlier.
We did.
So,
but just
I think we saw every actress's boobs at one point or another.
We did. She's a very, very attractive wasp. I mean, other than the head, she's got a big body.
Yeah, that's true. And a giant thorax. Take it as you will.
Exactly. She's got that. Well, people are really into big butts. So that's just like another dimension that we can add to it.
Yeah.
Like, Sir Mix-a-Lot would be very delighted.
He can't lie.
He can't lie. I like wasp butts and I cannot lie.
Oh, my Lord. Yeah, that was basically the movie in a nutshell. So not much else to it, to be honest.
It's only a little over an hour. Both of them, really.
Yeah. Oh, some other interesting factoids about Susan Cabot, because, despite her quitting acting, she invested well. She had good real estate, and she used to collect vintage cars, and so she would refurbish them and then flip them.
Oh, sweet.
That's how she made her money. I'm like, that's kind of badass.
Right?
Yeah.
That's kind of awesome.
Yeah.
Where's that story? I want to watch that story.
Yeah, that's about it. Yeah, that opening scene was just shot in 1964. I think that's all I got written down here for factoids about that movie, and there's no real factoids about the next one.
Well, this is Zinthrop's notebook, Mary. Notes on his experiments with Jan.
Well, how did Cooper get hold of it?
I don't know. If only Coop would show up. Mary, look.
It's Mr. Cooper's pipe.
Well, don't you get it? He's going to go out without his pants and leave that pipe behind. He's still somewhere in the building. I bet a year's salary on it.
If he is.
He's dead. And the night watchman.
Oh, wait. The original one, there's one thing I think was hilarious that I noticed. And it's the one guy, Cooper, that she kills. Mm-hmm. He always has a pipe on him. But at one point when he's trying to sneak into the lab, he's trying to hide behind a wall. And I'm like, what if he forgot about the pipe? And he's just like halfway behind the wall. The pipe's just sticking out there. I'm hiding.
Well, that's how they know he's missing too, because his pipe is sitting in.
Oh yeah, he's never without his pipe.
Yeah, so that's where they realize something bad happened. Well, Cooper's gone, the night watchman's gone. What's going on here?
Yeah, a few handymen are gone. I think when one of the maids was like, there's a few people that just went bye.
Yeah, and I think the body count, if memory serves, was 6, including the cat.
Yeah, that poor cat.
All right, let's take a break. I'll run the trailer for the Jim Wynorski version, and we'll be right back.
Janice Starlin is the owner of and model for a cosmetics company.
John Talbot's here for your 11 o'clock.
Thank you, Mary.
But she's getting older.
Don't you think she's a little too old to be a model? I mean, did you see those hands?
You need a new face for the Starlin line. Maybe it is time to face some facts.
Then she discovers a doctor with a secret formula.
The queen wasp paralyzes its victim with its venom. Wasp hormones not only arrest aging, they reverse it.
I'd like to get started today.
That's too dangerous. I've never tested this on human beings.
You'll test it on me.
The Wasp Woman.
Oh my God.
It's me.
Now she's young and beautiful again.
Do I still remind you of your mother?
Out to get revenge.
Let go of me.
And changing in more ways than one.
Kitty, kitty.
Wasp Woman.
All right, we are back. That was the trailer for The Wasp Woman from 1995, a made-for-TV movie by Jim Wynorski, who we talked about in episode 212.
Oh, God. Hint?
It is a movie where there should be chopping, but there is no chopping.
Shopping mall.
There you go.
You really did lead me right up to that one.
I mean, as far as hints go, I was a pretty heavy-handed one.
Yeah.
I could have just said robots in a mall.
Or you could have said there's a collection of stores.
Yeah. Now, you can go back to listen to that episode because I have a lot of fun with Jim Wynorski's filmography. I'm not going to do it this time. But yeah, there's a lot of like softcore and a few hardcore porn movies in there.
Yep.
Like a lot.
Yeah.
He's still making them.
You know what? Do what you love. You never work a day in your life.
Right? And quite a bit of this cast were in some of the softcore ones. So... Yeah. Let's get into the writers here. Daniela Purcell and Guy Prevost. Yeah, we needed 2 people to shine this one up.
Yeah.
Work harder. Daniela Purcell wrote The Unborn 2. And
okay. Sorry. When you said The Unborn, I'm like, ooh, and then you said 2.
yeah, and Dracula Rising.
Okay. You know what? That's not it's stupid, but it kind of enjoyable.
Yeah, and Guy Prevost, he wrote, you'll love this. It's right up your alley.
Okay.
Dino Shark.
I don't know if it's right up my alley. I do have a love of shark movies, but I mean, I want full shark.
I mean,
like,
do they know there are prehistoric sharks? They're called megalodons.
I know.
Other people. It took people to 2022 to figure out to name a movie Megalodon.
Oh no.
No, we'll have to call it Dino Shark because it's half dinosaur, half shark.
Well, to be fair, there's a whole bunch of these movies. There's Octo Shark. There's Dino Shark.
Yeah.
There's a bunch of hybrid sharks. Look, here's the thing. I'm not a shark racist, but I do like my sharks sharky. I want my sharks to be sharks.
Yeah.
That's just who I am as a person.
Well, speaking of sharks, because you love bad CGI sharks.
Yeah.
Maybe we should call this one Bad CGI Wasps.
Yes. Bad CGI Wasps. Love it.
This stars Jennifer Rubin as Janice. She was in Bad Dreams, but everybody will remember her as the chick from Nightmare on Elm Street 3, Dream Warriors. She's the one who dreamed herself into a badass with switchblades and a mohawk. Yeah.
She was a punk. I loved it. That's how I knew her, and that's how I love her, and that's how I remember her.
Yeah. Now she does these weird erotic movies with Jim Wynorski. I mean, yeah. She grew up hot.
What you do, lady? Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Doug Wirt was Alec, and most people remember him from Star Trek The Next Generation. He actually played Jack Crusher.
Oh.
Yeah. So not a character we saw very much in this series, but kind of an important one, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Daniel J. Travanti was Dr. Zinthorpe, or Throp on this one, I do believe. We talked about him in episode 373.
Uh-oh.
It's a toughie. There's some time travel involved and a blonde.
Oh, I know this one, but I don't remember the name. I can visualize it. It's like they're in the future, but they're going to the past, and she has to have like smoke a bunch because the air is too nice here.
Yeah, Millennium.
That's it. Thank you.
Yeah.
See, I knew the movie. I just didn't remember the name.
Yeah, Melissa Brassel. She plays Mary in this one, the secretary, and oh my God. Like every girl in this is hot as hell. Like,
well, and it's not just that. I found her I could just watch her.
She was very watchable.
Charisma.
There's something about her face is a bit unusual, but really attractive. There's like a weird dream sequence where Janice is watching her and thinking, like in her mind, imagining her making her out with her boyfriend. And boy, she could do like sex pot like nobody's business. So I'm like, whew, part of me wishes this was a porno right now because, oh my lord.
Exactly. And I mean,
stunning.
She's stunning, but she also, I don't know, she gets that, the chemistry with her and Jennifer Rubin is really good.
It is really good.
You can believe they're best friends.
Yeah. You can see her in The Cheerleader Massacre.
Nice.
And Cocaine Cougar.
Wait, is that the next one after Cocaine Bear?
I don't think they're really related per se.
Oh, I thought are we just going to have a listing of cocaine animals?
Do you not know about Cocaine Shark?
No.
Oh yeah, no. When Cocaine Bear happened, a whole bunch of cocaine animal movies happened at the same time of these mockumentary, or what do we call them? Mockbusters.
Mockbusters. Oh, Cocaine Moose. You got to do Cocaine Moose.
That's very Canadian of you.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it would be insane. I mean, a bear is tough and hard, but a moose will fucking destroy you.
Speaking of making me tough and hard, Maria Ford was Caitlin. That was so bad. I apologize.
No,
but
you know what? Don't apologize. We're friends. I get it. I could have made that joke.
It's right. You would have if I hadn't.
Yep.
Maria Ford, Bee Queen. She's been around for a while. Still stunning, even today. Like 30 years later, just doesn't look like she's aged a day. More work done, but it's done well.
Maybe she's got the Wasp serum.
Maybe she does. She was in Night Hunter and Star Quest 2. But yeah, she's done a lot of these B movies, and that was a name on here, like one of the first I recognized. I actually didn't remember Jennifer Rubin, and I was halfway through the movie, and because I remember writing down Nightmare on Elm Street, I'm like, who was she? And then I kept looking at the eyes. I'm like, oh, she's the chick with the knives.
Yeah, she did a bunch of TV as well. I remember seeing her and stuff.
Yeah, Maria Ford's been in a ton of stuff.
That and Jennifer Rubin.
Not a damn thing you've heard of.
Oh, yeah.
But a ton of stuff.
Working.
John Henry Richardson was John because they couldn't find any other name for him. He was in Hollywood Chainsaw Hookers and Munchies from 1992. There was all sorts of Gremlin knockoffs. Munchies was definitely one of them. Oddly enough here, Garrett Graham was Arthur. Here's a face of like, what happened to you? Why are you in this?
I know.
Arthur being one of the board members, and he's kind of pushing for a sale of the company of Starlin Enterprises because he's going to get a kickback from it, and he doesn't want the company to succeed. He wants it to get bought out. So he's doing a little insider stuff. So he's kind of the closest thing we have to a villain here.
Yes.
We've talked about Garrett quite a few times. The first time was way back in episode 12.
Used cars?
That's right. And of course, episode 212, I've already mentioned it. Another Jim Wynorski movie. So it obviously was a favor. Yep, Chopping Mall. And episode 272, this one being a Corman produced one with cars.
Oh, with cars.
Yes.
We've done a lot of car movies.
Yes, and more than one were Roger Corman.
Is it that one where they're driving across the country and he's trying to get there fast?
Kinda, yeah, Cannonball.
Thank you.
Yeah, that was episode 272. Richard...
See, I'm great at plot. I'm bad at titles.
Richard Gabai is Nick. And he was in... Actually, I just saw this on Shudder recently. Demon Wind.
Oh, nice. Oh, nice.
And I do believe...
Demon Wind. Why do I think of farts?
Because it's the shits.
I mean, ooh, that's some Demon Wind, bud.
He was also in Piranha Women, so a real stretch from this one.
Yeah.
And lastly, Johnny Williams was the Wasp Collector. He was actually pretty adorable. He was also in The Mask and Goodfellas, so he's actually the only one in good movies.
Yeah, I know. I've seen him around. I was really surprised he had such a small part, but I mean, like, he's like a character actor. He's one of the guys you've seen in that thing that one time.
Yeah, absolutely he is. So, yeah, we're getting into this one here. Very similar plot. She's aging out of the modeling, and they really put more focus on the modeling to the point where we're doing a model hunt, and we have like a room full of like prospective new models, including Maria Ford, who's their pick, but just an excuse to get a bunch of hot women together in a room.
Yeah.
Wynorski's definitely pulling a lot more from his erotic stuff for this one. At least with Chopping Mall, yeah, sure, there were still boobies kicking around, but it still felt like an honest horror movie.
Yeah, I mean, what was with Maria playing that
Caitlin, the blonde.
Caitlin. Yeah. Playing Caitlin the blonde. They're like, oh, she's amazing. She's doing great. And I'm looking at it going like, no, not really.
No, she just
this
isn't really hot.
She's really hot, but she's not a model.
No.
I'm so sorry, guys. She's just not.
Yeah, so that was also part of the working. There was a lot more actually pushing the main character of Janice towards her decision of trying something drastic to regain her youth, as she's kind of aging out of being the model for her own company. And in both movies, it was affecting the sales of their products. Mm-hmm. And there's more things like she had finished a shoot and off people go, and there's a couple of guys that come in while she's doing her makeup that don't notice her in there, basically bad-mouthing her.
Hey, come on, don't you think she's a little too old to be a model?
We're talking Airbrush Central here.
Oh, serious mileage. I mean, did you see those hands?
Oh, she looks older than my mother.
Yeah, well, actually, your mother's not too bad. Is she available?
Thanks. I don't think so.
Yeah, it's really upsetting.
I know. Well, what's funny is I'm listening to these two guys. Isn't she too old to be a model? Blah, blah, blah. I'm like, you guys ain't oil paintings. So how's about we just slow that shit down? She's still way out of both of your leagues.
Exactly.
And it was one of those things, like, it's the whole beauty industry was kind of weird. Because
words hurt, man. Words hurt.
Words hurt. But it's dumb. The only way to have young looking skin is to be fucking young. Like, time marches over everybody's fucking face. Let's just deal with it. As long as the skin is on you, you're okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. When you get old,
when
you get really, really old, it becomes that papery stuff. And even just hitting it against something, your skin will rip apart. That's the part we should be concentrating on when it comes to skincare.
Yeah, ironically, they had to do like some aging makeup on Jennifer Rubin because, you know, she was just a teenager when she did like Nightmare on Elm Street, and she had aged into a beautiful woman. So she was, mid to late 20s, maybe very early 30s at the latest, doing this part.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Still looking amazing.
Exactly. It was only like 10 years since Nightmare on Elm Street. So, yeah, she looked great. So they had to throw a little more heavy makeup under her eyes because she has kind of natural bags under her eyes. And they kind of used that a little bit.
Yeah, and really bad eyelid makeup.
Yeah.
Really dark and really kind of dark. And then just like really messing with her eyebrows. It's weird. You can do those little tweaks. That makes somebody look a lot older, and it's nothing, but it'll make somebody look older like nobody's business. Yeah.
And along comes Dr. Zinthrop out of nowhere again with this formula, shows her how it works and the things he's already done. Very similar scene to the original film.
Yeah, but I like how she's researched him.
Yes.
You understand that I've never tested this on human beings.
You'll test it on me. And I'd like to get started today.
No, that's too dangerous. This hormone has properties similar to psychoactive drugs. It can induce paranoia, mood swings, even altered libidos.
I understand your reluctance, but I've done some research on my own. I've learned that you were a doctor of internal medicine before switching to Eastern medicine, and that one of your cancer patients died when you treated him with a highly controversial nemesis vaccine. And then you were expelled from the American Medical Association.
Now, why are you so anxious to be the guinea pig for this hormone?
I also know about the other 7 patients that received the vaccine from you. All of them alive today without a trace of cancer. You see, Dr. Zinthrop,
I too intend to beat the odds.
She says,
she's done her diligence.
She's talking about you lost your license because of this, but what I'm interested in is the other people you saved. They don't talk about that, but she's like, that's where I'm putting my faith in.
Yeah, exactly. The things they don't talk about. And she does say she wants to do this properly in some of the meetings, like, because they can't just release it. It's an injection. So there's still
FDA approval, a whole bunch of other shit.
Exactly. You know, they're smart to mention all this kind of stuff for a more savvy audience than 1959.
Exactly.
Zinthrop's giving her the small doses as well. And again, she's impatient. Yeah.
It's one of those things like, you are impatient, but it's kind of funny. Zinthrop and Venthrop in both movies are trying to be they're doing the cautious thing, the proper cautious thing. I mean, going straight to human trials, very bad as a scientist, but they're at least trying to be cautious.
Exactly. He's not trying to kill her. He doesn't know what the long-term effects of something like this might be. At least not yet. We do get the wasp cat. So
yes, we do.
It does happen. But the formula's kind of messing with her a little bit too. She's already got anxiety because of people being vocal about her aging out of the modeling for her own company and this pressure to maybe sell.
Yeah.
As well as jealousy. Because we've got a new model coming in and her boyfriend makes eyes at everybody. He's a photographer. And I can't say he's the most faithful dude. I wasn't really rooting for him. I was kind of rooting for her the whole time. I'm like, oh, go Wasp Woman.
Me too. And I'm sitting there going, lady, okay, he's a photographer. I mean, honestly,
Yeah.
You've met these people. You should kind of know better.
Yeah. I mean, the only time where I stopped rooting for her is when she had turned and attacked her secretary. And I was like, no, don't go after her. I like her.
No. Yeah. She's your friend. Everybody else, kind of had it coming.
Yeah.
But she's an innocent. No.
Yeah. The wasp collector, he gets attacked by the cat wasp.
Mm-hmm.
Attacked and killed. Oh, we forgot about the gratuitous chick that running in the leotard in the opening of the movie, running into an area where he warns her. No, there's lots of bugs over there. And then she gets attacked by killer wasps. I think they were basically badly animated black things.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's supposed to be a swarm of wasps. It's weird because that opening, it honestly should have been eliminated because it introduced something that never comes back. Like maybe the serum is from these very, very aggressive wasps, and that's the problem.
Yeah, they maybe should have said a little bit more about the wasps they were collecting from that area, how aggressive they are. Or she had a fucking allergy. Right? I mean, I guess when you're being stung by that many wasps, it's gonna do some damage.
And the difference between bees and wasps. Wasps can sting you and sting you again.
Yeah, and
they don't lose the ability.
Yeah, and they paralyze their prey. So they'll sting you over and over and over again.
Mm-hmm. And it hurts like a bugger. Yeah,
and they talk about a lot of that stuff too, of how wasps hunt and eat and sting their prey, and that's all in here. So they're trying to make you think a little bit more logically with this character.
Well, they do get into it where she's got prey. Mm-hmm. Which I kind of found an interesting thing to do. And I'm like, but just a little further, guys. You could have gone just a little further.
Yeah. Outside of the boob window, I really liked the design of the Wasp Woman when she's fully transformed. Because it's huge. It's a big set piece. Like, it's partially animatronic. So, like, a large portion of the budget went into this pretty cool costume. I mean, it's not, like, on a level of The Fly. But it's still a pretty decent looking costume.
Yeah, they didn't really half-ass it when you look at it because it's enormous. So when you imagine this thing coming at you, it's huge. Like, it's giant. It's towering over you. This insect is towering over you.
Exactly, which is terrifying. Mm-hmm. If you weren't staring at her tits.
Yeah.
I should be running, but I've made my choice.
Yeah, exactly. You're like, you know what? I like that look. Let's do that. That's fine. Well, I guess what I liked about the boobies in the Wasp was it's cleavage, but it looks kind of like an elegant sort of gown type of detail. Yeah. I mean, if you took that off of and out of the costume, you could very reasonably put it into some sort of gown that somebody would wear.
Her whole body transformed except for this perfect spot on her chest.
Yeah. Yeah, well, her boobs were in great shape. She's like, nah, I'm not doing anything with those. It's fine.
Exactly. We're selling makeup, not tit products.
Exactly.
I mean, actually, and she was the only one who didn't have a bunch of fake tits. So
I know, right?
Everybody else had them all done up.
She deserves to be proud of those puppies.
That's right.
Yeah.
Oh, too much tit talk. Okay.
Welcome to our tit talk.
Well, tit talk. Yeah, so the Wasp Collector gets it from the Wasp. We find out later about Arthur in his kickbacks, and that one's weird because at this point there's a lot of personality change. And she really kind of lures him in as a sex pot. Like, she's like, oh, I'm not mad. I like this kind of aggressive take, and we can really go places with this company with that kind of attitude. Just to get him into her arms and, locks lips and then goes down on him. Like, gives him head and then transforms into a wasp. You can imagine what happens next.
Yeah. Yeah, well, they show the blood spatter going up to him, so you get a real good idea.
Yeah, they don't show it. It's still television after all. We can show boobs, but maybe not a penis getting chopped off.
Well, you don't even need to do that. You just can show, you know what? This is the whole thing. Boobs are fine, but show a penis. Fine. We're not going to
Yeah.
Clutch our pearls. It's fine. They're penises.
I don't know if I wanted to see Garrett Graham's penis, but,
I don't know.
do a stunt penis. I'm fine.
Do a stunt penis. Yeah. I'm going to watch boobs. I don't mind watching a penis. Like, let's just be fair about this.
Fair.
Release the penis. Release the penis.
Let the small truth be known.
Or the big truth, or the medium-sized truth. It's the fun
They're
thing.
wonderful in all sizes, right? That's what you're telling me?
They are. Then they're all little individual things. I mean, you see a few, you're like, oh, they're all a little bit different.
They don't put a lot of penises on screens because they're fucking ugly.
I don't know. I think they're cute. They're cute in their own way.
No guy likes having their penis called cute.
Yeah,
they're like, God, is there a wasp serum for that?
No.
I need a bigger stinger.
They adore cute. It doesn't mean it's small if I say cute.
But we think it does. We think that's what it means. That's the problem.
Well, then we have to rethink that. That's on you guys. That's not on us.
You're completely right. It is on us because we're all a little sensitive about our little man.
See, you guys call it little man. That's the whole thing.
That's true, but we can do it to ourselves. We don't like it when you call it that.
Oh, I don't call it a little
Hey,
man.
big
I
man.
call it a penis. Hey there, bud. How you doing? Once wanted to nickname one Gonzo because he's my favorite Muppet, and it kind of looked like his nose.
Fair.
That didn't get anywhere.
Yeah.
Okay, anyway, back from the penis talk. So yeah, she takes out
doing a penis and Muppet joke is just a bridge too far, Trish.
Why not?
This isn't Meet the Feebles.
I'm not saying that the nose is the penis. I'm saying it just resembles it. It is not a small nose. Gonzo has a very nice nose. It's a very large nose. So why are we upset? Anyway.
I'm sure it's very useful.
There you go. So anyway, yeah. So she takes out Arthur. And then she also gets the other guy, the other board member who's mentioned about how old she's getting and how they have to change. I think that's the investor.
Yeah, the staff is dwindling. Yes, he was the investor who, and he's like, I'm pulling out of this deal. She didn't want the deal anyway.
And he's like, I'm going to get home to my wife. I'm like, that's after you fucking groped her.
Right?
You were ready to go. And then she says something and you have to get home to your wife. Oh, come on, you little bitch. You knew what was going on.
Right?
But yeah, she takes him out pretty good.
They do kind of allude that she's been taking her victims, her prey, back to this weird cave, which is like mentioned in some sideline, which is how Alec finds her later as he's kind of trying to figure out what's going on and where she might be.
It's a nice addition. I like the fact that she has prey. She takes them there. It's a lair. I mean, it's a cave. Okay, quick question. Where did the dynamite come from? Why was that even there?
Because they dynamite in caves, maybe? To make more?
Because that was the other thing I couldn't quite get. I'm like, why
would you just leave that lying around?
Yeah, on a cave that apparently people can just go to.
Yeah, so, I mean, that's one of those Corman-esque script conveniences that don't make a lot of sense. And the fact that she runs, gets it, lights it, throws it, they run out of the cave. They're out there they could have had a whole meal together before that thing goes off. And like they've been dating for a week and then it finally blows up.
And then it finally goes. And it's a lot of dynamite. It would have been a bigger explosion and caused a cave. And this is the other thing too. After it explodes, they go back in the cave. And I'm like, it's unstable now.
Yeah.
You guys are dummies. Like, I would have really enjoyed it if they get caught in a cave and they're all dead and nobody knows
the whole
about the wasp
crate
here.
goes up. Like, Janice, as the Wasp Woman, she has these memory flashbacks because we know the memory flashbacks because they show us as clips. And she picks up the dynamite. And again, she had forever and a day. It must be hard to bend down in that costume. But she picks it up.
This is a 45-foot wick or whatever you call it.
Yeah. She could have just lit it from outside. It was so long. It lasted forever. Yeah. The Wasp Woman picks it up, puts it into the pile of dynamite instead of next to it, like it would have made any difference at all.
I know.
But I guess it's that vision of self-sacrifice, right? She's like, okay, this is too much. I've become a monster and may not be turning back. I don't know. We don't know.
Well, yeah. See, that's the whole thing. You were always wondering. And again, another little thread that never got tugged at was actually in the original. And it's Mary and the other guys talking about it. And the guy's like, oh, I remember they were using like monkey glands and people were improving for a bit. But then afterwards, they started deteriorating. I mean, why didn't we pull at that thread?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, overall, both of them are really cheesy, but really fun.
Oh, yeah.
They're both fun movies to watch.
Oh, there are lots of ridiculous fun. I did enjoy both of them very much.
Yeah.
I mean, and the ending in both endings, I kind of sort of felt satisfied because in the original one, Venthrop actually faces the monster he's created and takes an active role in destroying it. Much. Victor Frankenstein didn't have the guts, but Venthrop did. And then the other one, she sacrifices herself because she's like, I have become a monster. So both of them, there feels to be like a conclusion that I feel satisfied with.
Now, maybe we should do something fun here. Let's do like an ad for Starlin Enterprise, Starlin Makeup. Like you can do the ad, and I'll do I'll do the little like fast talking side effects.
Okay. Okay, I could do this. Okay, there's several options. I could do this as, maybe the 80s one, or I can do this as those 90s obscure.
You pick.
Ones like, okay. All right. Mystery. Silence. Smoothness. Love. Intensity. Rejuvenation. Starlin Skincare. We bring out the woman in you.
May also turn you into Wasp.
There you go. It was like those perfume ads that they had way back when, where it was like, when something meets something, and this is this, we are here, infinity, sent by so-and-so.
All right, well, IMDb gives the original film a 4.8 out of 10. The 95 is a 4.1. They're fairly close in their awfulness.
Yeah. but you know what? Ultimately enjoyable.
Yeah. Rotten Tomatoes, I have a full score for the original film, but only a partial one for the remake. So let's do the Rotten Tomatoes game, Trish.
Oh, okay.
What do you think critics thought of the original film? You don't have to worry about the remake because there aren't any critic scores for the remake.
21.
All right, 45.
Shit.
What do you think the audience score was for the original film?
37.
And the remake?
The remake? 21.
All right. The original film had an audience score of 24%, and the remake, 12.
Oh, shit. I was underestimating the critics and overestimating the audience.
Yeah.
I always do that. I always do that kind of like, I just go a little bit opposite when I should be going the other way.
Yeah, unfortunately with TV movies, I don't know what the budget was, but the original Corman movie was only $50,000.
Okay. Well, I mean, they made use of what sets they had. I can see where you get that.
Yeah, and I mean, he would have been definitely at 59. That would have been a B movie, part of a double feature probably. It'd probably be the second of a double feature.
Yeah, small cast.
Yeah.
And I mean, minimal effects, really.
Yeah, really. I mean, the makeup's not great, but...
It's like a mask. No, you can see it coming down the back of her head. It's like she just puts on a mask, really.
Yeah, they did try to, I don't know, there's like furry bits poking out.
Mm-hmm. But I could see the back, I could see the underside and the back of her neck, like her lily white neck.
Yeah, there's not much going on there.
No. It's a hat and some gloves. That's what they did.
Right.
But you know what? Work with what you got.
Yeah, I still think there's a good movie in here somewhere, but so far not yet.
I really do, and you're right. There is a movie in here. It says a lot. The whole movie itself says a lot.
Yeah.
The
psychological aspects of mental health and the body horror that goes with it, because it's about body dysmorphia in a real way, in a physical way.
The aging process, how it's just kind of brutal, and how we fight it. Because I mean, inside your head, let's be real. I'm not a very old person inside my head. I'm very immature.
Exactly.
But my body does not reflect that. So what are we going to do here?
Yeah, well, mine's starting to.
Yeah,
The aches
I know.
and
It's
pains.
aches and pains. Sleeping wrong. Sleeping wrong has become a thing.
Yeah. Why am I sore?
I was so good at it. Could have gone pro. But now...
Right? My sleeping skills. What the heck?
Yeah, I was at the top of my game for many
Yeah.
years.
All right. Well, I think that's it for the Wasp Woman. Thanks for joining us for this second part of this salute to Roger Corman. Don't worry, we got lots of Roger Corman to pick from still, but we wanted to acknowledge his passing and what he has done for the film industry as a whole. And
Yes.
wouldn't be the same without him. So God rest
Oh,
you.
absolutely. And as we discussed last time, and you didn't have the record on, was how many people came out of his plant? Like,
yeah, right.
The seeds he planted with directors that came out of it.
Yeah.
How many movies would we may not have had
Because
if
of
he didn't
Roger
have...
Corman giving these people opportunities. James Cameron,
Exactly.
Ron Howard, Joe Dante. I mean,
Joe
all
Dante.
three of these people came out of Corman's camp. And I mean, I haven't done the research, but there's plenty more.
There's tons more. And as I guess you were telling me, they edit 3 movies and then he asks if they want to direct. He wants to throw them out there because, I mean, honestly, that seems to be the best way to do it. Show them how to, if they have to edit a movie, it makes them really think about what they're going to get for shots.
Yeah.
When they're directing, it makes an efficient director if you're going to start that way.
And if they didn't want to do it, then they didn't have enough drive and they got fired anyway.
Yeah.
And if they made the movie, then you should go off and go make movies and make better ones. And the shape of film would be vastly different if Roger Corman hadn't been a part of it.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, he worked them hard, but I mean, he made sure that people were doing stuff and spreading their wings and expanding their skill set because that was the whole thing too. You did a lot of stuff.
Yeah. You're talking about a guy who's making genre films on minuscule budgets. You know,
and a wonderful number of them.
Yeah.
Like even this one, there's lots of really beautiful nuggets in here.
Yeah,
that make a great film.
Yeah, and his shoot times were minimal too. Like that was part of the budget constraints, and we still got some very memorable stuff out of all of that, and very memorable directors that came out of it. We wanted to acknowledge Roger Corman, and I think we did a good job with that. So in 2 weeks, we'll be back to normal. It still could be a Corman, who knows? Just the way the cookie crumbles sometimes.
Yeah, you know what? I just keep wondering. I'm like, is the Corman factory going to keep going? Are we going to get more good directors out of it? What's going to happen?
Yeah, well, I think we'll always get that kind of mentality out there. I mean, we still have guys like Charles Band out there doing it the same way. So, I mean, Corman wasn't the only guy. Corman was just the best one.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. And our friends over at Troma there, like,
Yeah, Troma does it too.
There's lots of guys still doing it.
Yeah. You know, it's important. I mean, everybody needs to get their foot in the door and get their feet wet. And I mean, a lot of these, when people start out with these people, they come from a place of deep love of cinema.
Mm-hmm.
And so they do it. And honestly, doing stuff on a shoestring makes you better capable of figuring a way to do things. Like, you don't have all this money thrown at you and then it looks like shit.
Exactly.
You actually make an effort.
Yeah, that wraps up The Wasp Woman. We hope you like it. If you liked it, give us a 5-star rating and a short review over on Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts, because it helps get more
earballs
on the show. Another way you can help out the show is tell your friends and family how to find the show. You know, grab their phone, subscribe them through a podcast app, or direct them to our website, invasionoftheremake.wixsite.com/podcast. And over there, you'll find links to podcatchers. You'll find an archive of all of our shows, well over 400 at this point, and lists from our 31 Days of Horror specials, if you want to go check out some of those mini reviews and those movies. and a link to our store, our TeePublic Store. You can buy t-shirts, mugs, posters, PPE masks, totes, notebooks, all sorts of stuff. Well over 100 designs to choose from on our store. Get something cool, and you're helping out the podcast and keeping us free every couple of weeks for you. So
they don't age like tour shirts.
That's right. They don't age like tour shirts. There's some really cool designs. A lot of them relate to our episodes. Some of them are slogans or show logo, but lots of cool stuff there. Go check them out. And the t-shirts, super comfortable. You definitely want to get some of those. Also, find us on our social media at Invasion Remake on Twitter/X, Invasion of the Remake on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. You can find us on Threads as well, but don't do a lot over there. But yeah, you can interact with us there. And of course, you can send us emails, invasionoftheremake@gmail.com if you want to send us your suggestions, your corrections, your comments, or those fan challenges. We'll take a fan challenge. There's a few rules to a fan challenge. I mean, you can challenge us just to do another comparison if you want. But if there's something you want us to remake, it should be 20 years old at least. Try not to, if it's an Oscar winner, we're not going to be able to improve that. Don't pick something, don't be nitpicky on a really good film. We're probably going to ignore that. You can sometimes trick me into doing a good film. If it's old enough and we haven't heard of it. It's happened. Yeah. It's happened before. And we've had some good stuff. But we also like old and weird.
Hell yeah.
If you got a weird hook, I like a weird hook, and you'll really sell me on something strange. So if you want to get it, that'll up your chances for sure. Also tell us where to find it. I mean, you can ask us to do something all you want, but if we can't find it, we're not going to do it. So
exactly.
If you can source it for us, whether it's on a streamer or YouTube, or even if
there's lots of stuff on Tubi.
If a physical copy exists or something, like you can email us and say, hey, I'm going to send you a copy. That's fine too.
Yeah.
Any way you can get this movie into our hands.
If we can't get our eyeballs on it, we can't do anything about it.
Yeah, exactly. By the way, if you wanted to watch The Wasp Women, the original films virtually everywhere because it's public domain. Both movies are on YouTube.
Yeah.
So there you go. I watched the original one on Prime Video, and
I watched it on Tubi.
Okay, yeah. I figured that the least amount of commercials are going to be Prime Video. They still have commercials there, but was yours in color?
No.
Okay.
I went with the black and white. I didn't really want the colorized.
I didn't really want the colorized, but once I was in, I'm like, I guess that's what I'm getting.
No, I felt I wanted to be really with it.
Yeah, I would have preferred black and white myself. Yeah, and I was quite surprised the YouTube version of the 95 one I watched was ripped from a VHS, and it still had the ads at the beginning. I would start watching them, like, oh, these all look terrible. And then I know, right? It was like half an hour's worth, so I just skimmed through them. And
watching old ads is just the wildest thing, because you're like, this was a life I lived many, many years ago.
Yeah, there were a lot of direct-to-video cheesiness there. I'm trying to remember who the releasing was now, but something like Empire or something. Yeah, I was.
Yeah.
That's what they did. They did a lot of B movie stuff, or Wasp movie. Not B, Wasp.
Oh, after this, I went into movies about killer bees.
Oh, that bugs me.
Killer bee movies?
Yeah, they bug me.
They bug you?
Bug me.
No, I was trying.
Now I'm trying to fit in as many puns as I can.
There you go. Well, you couldn't be more excited because there's Terror from the Sky. I was trying to find the right movie because there was one that played on TV that has stuck with me all these decades later as a child. Because the end of it, they've lured the bees into kind of like this bunker, and he can't get out, and he just dies there.
Oh, if you want a really good mutant giant wasp movie, Stung.
Yes.
That one's great. Some really good body horror. Lance Henriksen's in it. Some really good special effects. It's a more modern movie.
Yeah.
But if you like giant bug movies and people mutating into giant bugs, Stung is the movie for you.
This was a regular Killer Bee movie.
I think
where
I
it
talked
just really
about it.
traumatized me.
Yeah, I think I talked about Stung on one of our 31 Days.
I think
of
you
Horror.
did. Yeah, and I think I ended up actually watching it after you recommended it.
Yeah, I think I lent it to you.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we'll be back in 2 weeks with, I don't know, we're going to remake something we haven't decided yet, but we'll catch you in a couple weeks. Until then, I've been Jason.
And I continue to be Trish.
And we are out of here.
The enzymes, they're going crazy.
Sure, Mr. Zenthrop. Now, you just relax and take it easy. Everything will be all right. We'll take care of those, whatever
You do not
call
understand. You do not understand that girl. You shouldn't have sent her upstairs. She's in danger. You must stop her before it is too late.
Okay, as soon as the cops get here, we'll take her.
Oh, you fool. Miss Darling will kill her and tear her body to shreds.
Miss Starlin, kill Mary?
Miss Darling is not a human being any longer. The enzymes have changed her. She will destroy the girl as a female wasp would destroy her enemies, and then devour the remains.